Hi guys, this week's discussion is really interesting about financial wellness and taking care of personal finances. I think that we actually don't get enough education on that when we are younger. So I find it very interesting to read up on all of these things. A lot of these things I learned later on in life, possibly when I really should have already known it earlier on. So one article that I found interesting was everything you need to know about credit scores. And I feel like credit scores are just one of those things that are kind of out there in space and nobody truly fully understands and always kind of is guessing about. So it was definitely interesting to read about it. And some of the things that the article talked about was, for example, the difference between a credit score and a credit report. A credit report is really all of the information that a credit bureau will gather on you, things like payment history, things like the amount that you owe, the length of your credit history and such. And based on those things, they will generate a credit score. Now the interesting thing is there is more than one credit bureau and you have more than one credit score. So that's where things get even more confusing. But some of the advice that was given in the article were things like, always keeping, like for example, keeping your spending on a credit card less than 30% of your credit limit. Those kind of things are very useful, and I believe that a lot of us when we're younger almost get tricked a little bit when you get all these offers for credit cards and you don't exactly know what you are doing, and then you get stuck with a debt and your credit history becomes not so great and your credit score goes down and it becomes a big mess. So I am a big advocate of learning these things very early on. I think there should be a whole class in high school about this where we literally just learn everything there is to know about credit reports, credit bureaus, credit scores. The other article that I liked was 9 ways to create a personal budget and stick to it. And it talks about many different things that you can do to help yourself, such as knowing your recurring monthly bills and expenses and tracking how much money you have coming in. I definitely make it a habit to check my bank account all the time and see where everything stands. It also talks about living within your means, which very easily, you can overspend. There are so many different occasions in life where you end up overspending. One piece of advice that I really liked was to carry cash, which a lot of us don't do anymore, and to use cash when you purchase things instead of credit cards and debit cards. And I think that's really smart because it really limits you on how much you can spend based on what you have in cash. I feel like sometimes when you're using your card, you're not really thinking, oh, I already bought like 10 other things today. And it's just human nature. We just don't think about it. So I really liked that piece of advice, and it's something that I will be changing for myself. And I think a lot of people use Venmo now instead of cash. But even with that, since it's connected to your bank account or your card again, I feel like that can get a little tricky as well, and you might lose track of how much you are spending too. So I will definitely take that into consideration and start carrying a lot more cash with me again. Well, maybe not a lot, but enough for whatever I need to spend for the day. Thank you.